boy.
Boy.
Show that frickin' thing.
80 days ago we left from our house on Tiny Rolla Creek to follow the runoff from our backyard to the ocean.
And here we are, the Arctic Ocean. And our destination is just over there. Final destination, Tuktoyaktuk.
This will help to pay our passage home. We've been digging, slowly growing.
Yeehaw! Now tell me, how far do you guys plan on pulling this thing? They are growing cold. All the leaves are bright red and gold. As the snow falls, we do bunker down. In the silent bunkers beneath ground, I remember being 4 feet tall. Me and Danny walked to Rolla Falls. Then following their fast we would fall, till we came upon the mighty Rock Creek Fall. Here's the spot where A.J. carved his name. 60 years in sandstone, still and green. Now my life is some time to end. It's been driven me round the bend and up and over the hill again.
Because we could. That's the main reason we decided to do it. To follow the runoff from our backyard on its northward journey to the Arctic Ocean. 5 generations of Carl's family have lived along Rock Creek, where we now reside and begin our journey. Entirely self-propelled, our journey would take us from Rolla, BC to Tuktoyaktuk in the Northwest Territories, over 3,700 kilometers of creeks, rivers, lakes, and ocean.
This came up fast.
Dammed near its headwaters, the mighty Peace flows swiftly through canyons and slowly through lowlands before culminating in the world's largest inland freshwater delta, the Peace Athabasca Delta.
Headed into Fort Vermilion.
So we made a quick stop at Fort Vermilion here at the local pub that overlooks the river right outside those curtains. Anything to add?
Nice town though.
Yeah, nice town, friendly folks. Ingajin said just one beer. So it's day 15. Everything's been going pretty good. The wind is going in our favor now for the first time today. And tomorrow we portage the Vermilion Chutes.
Well, our wheel is front wheel kind of bit the dust just now. Try and fix it.
Stop for a second. At least the bugs aren't bad.
Oh, I gotta pull this down to do that.
just heading off the Peace River on a little branch called the Scow Channel, which is going to take us to Slave River. So we just arrived in Fort Fitzgerald. It's day 25. I'm gonna make it here last night, but we got stuck in the wind. Anyway, now we gotta walk to Fort Smith.
Having tire troubles. The frame that our friend Barry made works great, but the tires that I found at the garbage dump aren't quite up to
So we just walked over 30 kilometers from Fort Fitzgerald to Fort Smith. Pretty exhausting with the canoe in tow. Town is pretty friendly though. Every car who passed offered us help. It was pretty tempting.
Pike!
And we were camped tonight at Queen Elizabeth campsite. Fort Smith. Hopefully we can get down to the water from here. Otherwise we're told we have to go back to the boat launch, which is a long ways back.
Day 29. Beautiful day on the Slave River. But we're pretty bored. July 1st. One month.
We're floating down Naggle Channel, which is a shortcut channel to Great Slave Lake. Kind of nice to be on a little tiny creek channel things instead of the big rivers.
So, July 2nd, our first day on Great Slave Lake, and pretty good paddling conditions today, but our worst campsite, there's hardly anywhere to camp. It's all just swamp and big piles of driftwood so far, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, we got a spot here.
The vast waters of Canada's deepest lake were moody. Bay crossings and island hopping required caution, with unpredictable wind and waves often grinding us to a halt.
Stuck again.
I don't know what to say. It's boring. The lake is still horrible.
Yeah.
I'm stuck in our shelter.
Oh well, it's working well.
Yeah, we're dry.
Alright. The waves are just a little too big out there this morning for us.
But we're ready to go.
So we're stuck in the wind today, and that's okay I guess. I got my camera fixed. It's been broken for a couple weeks. Maybe do some beach comb. It's pretty good beach comb here. But it was calm early this morning. I guess we're going to have to paddle at night for like 5 in the morning or 4 in the morning or something.
Smithfeet is watching something. What are you doing? The Mackenzie River, our final river and the longest river in Canada. After 1,900 kilometers, we resupplied in Fort Providence and embarked on the last leg of our journey.
Or something like that. Day 45 or something like that. Pretty windy on the Mackenzie River here. We're in. Anyway, we're trying to go through a little bit of a lake here, just past Fort Providence. Anyway, here's a good campsite, but we're getting run out of here by the birds. Eggs.
So it's day 50 on our trip, and we're back on the river after taking a couple of days off for resupply and visiting a couple old friends. We made it past Mills Lake now. The Mackenzie River took us 3 days because of wind. Just heard on the radio last night on CBC North that the federal government of Canada just pledged $500 million to the First Nations of the Mackenzie Valley area for compensation for social problems and maybe adjustments that will arise due to the Mackenzie Valley pipeline coming through. So it's kind of interesting. We're traveling this river on the eve of a mega project that might change this valley forever.
It's July 22nd, our 5th day paddling on the Mackenzie since Fort Providence. And pretty much been just paddling straight, not much current.
With 20% of the world's fresh water, it may appear that we have the lion's share, but only 7% is renewable. It is a precious resource, and we need to take care of what we have.
Our faithful companion's already ready to go. He's actually getting quite strange.
So our big guard dog here was growling 2 mornings ago. So I opened up the tent door and there's a big black wolf about 12 feet away, staring right at the tent. Must have thought it was kind of a den, I guess. Must have smelled Pike in there. Anyway, Pike promptly peed on our bed.
Poor Pike.
sat in our arms, and the wolf kind of just looked at us, and well, he seen that we opened the tent door and it slinked away. Pretty cool though.
I know. It's great there.
So we're just leaving Norman Wells. The river is full of man-made islands with pump jacks on them. Must be 8 or 9 of them. Over there's the gas plant with a big flare going, which is kind of weird because it's just upwind from town.
Making supper at the Arctic Circle.
Well, we passed Sigechik today on our way to Inuvik, about 115 kilometers away. And we're waiting for the wind. It's pretty windy. It seems to die down in the evening, about 9 o'clock. So hopefully we can go then. Hopefully we can go then.
The Mackenzie Delta was a labyrinth of over 30,000 lakes and connecting channels. Some of our maps dated back to the 1940s, and entire islands had vanished and new channels had appeared.
It's day 79. We've been windbound for 2 days now, about 115 kilometers away from Tuktoyaktuk. And it still looks pretty stormy, but we're gonna give her another go.
Day 80, August 19th, we just entered the Arctic Ocean. Cold wind and rain greeted us at the Arctic Ocean, and we could imagine it wouldn't be long before the ice moved in.
Standing on top of Whitefish Pingo, right on the shore of the Arctic Ocean.
To avoid the growing swells on the Arctic Ocean, we pulled overland and navigated through small channels and lagoons along the tundra coastline.
Now we found a little piece of gold. This will help to pay.
For almost 3 months, we traveled at the pace of the water, the true pace of nature.
We've been digging slowly, going I remember being 4 feet tall. Me and Daddy walked to Runoff. Then going there fast we would fall.
Paddle straight.
60 years in sandstone, still and green. Now my life needs some time to end. my sight. Retrospective of my future view. I clench my teeth at night. Now we found a little piece of gold. This will help to pay our passage.
It's kind of interesting. We're traveling this river on the eve of a mega project that might change this valley forever.